The 10th edition of the AUSC Region 5 Games will be underway in December 2022, hosted in Lilongwe, the capital city of Malawi. Teams from all over the SADC region will gather to compete in these highly anticipated games. The build-up to these games requires Malawi to ensure that the games venues are ready, and the local organizing committee have recently opened their doors to each country's chef de missions as well as the confederations to showcase their readiness.
Basically, today we have invited the confederations and also the CDMs to come and appreciate the level of preparedness in terms of the facilities that they're going to be used as the games villages and also the sporting facilities. So that's what is happening today, and we're continuing with the tours.
This is a mission where we are having the first time our chefs a mission from the member countries. We've come to predominantly look at three areas. Number one is for them to appreciate the facilities that are going to be used for the games. Number two is also to appreciate the technical rules that will be used for the games. And number three, we'll also be running a mini workshop for them in terms of the entourage management and the ethics of these games. So those are the three fundamental objectives that we are doing here. Having been here, we have had interface with the LOC. For us, it's the third time we've been here to assess progress, particularly on infrastructure that's going to be used for competition, for the games village, for our technical officials, for training, and ensuring that all the specifications that are needed have been addressed, but also to look into the progress made in terms of acquisition of the technical equipment that is required for the games. We have also been looking at how we're doing in terms of timelines, because there's a lot of training that will need to happen now for our technical officials, referees, judges, umpires that will be used in the games. So we're just assessing how far we are as far as meeting those timelines is concerned.
Delegates were taken on a grand tour to all competition venues to ensure the
pace picked up because of we've had quite a good support from ROC, and they're also guiding us throughout the way, and it also took time for Malawians and also those in LOC to understand the gravity of these games. So now pace has picked up, I should say, but it's been quite good, and I think we are quite on schedule on that one.
Netball's going to commence on the 4th to the 9th of December. We're hoping to have about 6 countries participating and more, because we actually have 10 affiliates affiliated to the federation. So we're hoping to have at least 10 countries, but we obviously know that Angola and Mozambique have not been active in netball that much, so they might not be partaking, but we should have a maximum of 8 countries participating in this year's tournament. In terms of the plans and the preparations, countries have already started with the selections and finalizing their teams. They need to submit this to the region. So I think all the countries are already actively busy finalizing their teams for the competition.
Yes. Good afternoon to all our distinguished dignitaries, guests, partners, and all participants following us on our Zoom platforms. Welcome to the African Union Sports Council Region 5, the leading home of innovation and excellence. I am Ogedise Dubani, and I'll be your host for today alongside my co-host, Mr. Sumba Musunsa. We are delighted to be having the second graduation of the online certified leadership course for Sports for All for the 2021-2022 intake. This is a course that AUSC Region 5, in collaboration with the Association for International Sports for All, TAFISA, conducted from October to November 2021. From November 2021 to June 2022, the participants were tasked to put into practice what they learned during their theoretical interface in a form of a practical case study. They were supervised by a team of carefully selected facilitators who made sure that the participants did the theory into practice, but also to derive key lessons from their experience. Today, we have 7 graduates who managed to fulfill all the requirements of the course, and therefore they will be graduating today. But before we begin the ceremony, I would like to remind you to turn off your cell phone to silent mode and be courteous to mute your microphones at all times when you are not speaking. Therefore, as mentioned, courtesy and attention are important and expected. As we commence our proceedings, allow me to invite you to join us in singing the African Union Anthem as it follows.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, invited guests. That national anthem, distinguished guests, stirs in us the spirit of patriotism and pride in being African, but also calls upon all of us to be a united and active Africa. Let me take this opportunity to recognize our guests this morning. This morning, we wish to recognize the following people that we have in our midst. And to begin with, may I recognize the presence of the African Union Sports Council Region 5 Advisory Board Chairperson, Mr. Isaac Katopola, who is also Permanent Secretary of Sport in Malawi. May I wish to recognize the presence of the Region 5 Secretary General, as well as Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Stanley Mutoya, and indeed the staff of the African Union Sports Council Region 5. May I also take time to recognize the TAFISA Vice President in Africa, Ms. Kenesi Katiseng Tizan. May I recognize the presence of the Regional Anti-Doping Organization Manager, Mr. Kamanga. Further, I wish to recognize the presence of our partners, in particular, the Norwegian Olympic and Paralympic Committee and Confederation of Sport, otherwise called NIF, and the Association for International Sport for All, TAFISA. May I recognize the President of Women Sport International, Ms. Diane Huffman, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, participants following us on our different media platforms, including YouTube and Zoom. At this point in time, may I call upon our CEO of the African Union Sports Council Region 5, Mr. Stanley Mutoya, to give us his welcome address. Mr. Mutoya.
A very good morning to you all, dear colleagues. I hope you can hear me. I've been struggling to hear and follow the proceedings, but can I just confirm if I'm audible to those members on Zoom? Can I confirm if I'm audible?
Yes, you are. Yes, you are audible, Mr. Mutoya.
Oh, thank you.
Hello, is Mr. Mutoya still online? We can't hear him now.
Okay. Apologies, colleagues. It seems like Mr. Mutoya is having trouble with network issues, but we'll let him just join in a few moments.
The 10th edition of the AUSC Region 5 Games will be underway in December 2022, hosted in Lilongwe, the capital city of Malawi. Teams from all over the SADC region will gather to compete in these highly anticipated games. The build-up to these games requires Malawi to ensure that the games venues are ready, and the local organizing committee have recently opened their doors to each country's chef de missions, as well as the confederations, to showcase their readiness.
Basically, today we have invited the confederations and also the CDMs to come and appreciate the level of preparedness in terms of the facilities that they're going to be used as the games villages and also the sporting facilities. So that's what is happening. We continue with the tours.
initially areas. One is for them to appreciate the facilities that are going to be used for the games. Number two, and number three, we'll also be running a mini workshop for them in terms of the entourage management and the ethics of these games. So those are the three fundamental objectives that we are doing here. Having been here, we have had interface with the LOC. For us, it's the third time we've been here to assess progress.
Welcome back, colleagues. We apologize for that breaking transmission. We had a challenge with the network issues, and Mr. Mutoya could not continue with his welcome address. Nonetheless, we will continue with the program as it has been drafted. And we wish at this point in time to call upon our partners or whether friends in terms of the implementation of the course itself and other Sport for All programs across the region. May I call upon the TAFISA Vice President, Ms. Kennedy, to provide her remarks. Sorry.
Thank you very much. I'm trying to put my video on. I hope it will be on. It's taking a bit of time, but in the meantime, let me thank you for the introduction and start by recognizing. Am I visible now? Thank you. Let me start by recognizing protocol and recognizing the chairperson of the advisory board and your members, and also recognizing the chief executive officer of AUSC Region 5, Mr. Mutoya, and your staff, and also just recognize all the leadership from the international, continental, regional, and local organizations and stakeholders that are with us here today. And also even recognize the facilitators for this cohort that have made it possible for the participants to learn from this cohort, and recognize the host and the co-host for today. Good day to you all. Thank you very much. This is actually a very important and special moment for me and for us as TAFISA. We see Region 5 as a very important partner in our mandate and delivery. It's actually the first event that I get to become part of as the newly elected Vice President for TAFISA office, or just as a newly member of the board for TAFISA. So it's important that I become part of these initiatives. It's important, and I'm thankful that Region 5 saw it fit to make me part of this event and to make us as TAFISA part of this graduation. We see Region 5, like I've indicated, as a very important partner in our delivery and in our approach for Sport for All. We take a holistic approach in terms of Sport for All as an association, and we believe that in our approach for Sport for All, we have to ensure that every region, every continent is represented in our initiatives. And AUSC Region 5 has really made it possible for us as TAFISA to deliver some of our initiatives for years now. The CLC is one of the most important initiatives for us as TAFISA, because it does not only help us to equip and ensure that we contribute to quality delivery of sport by empowering the relevant personnel within sport. It also allows us to ensure that the different segments of the sport as a structure and as a movement are represented, and we continue to deliver and ensure that they are empowered, and we continue to deliver and ensure that the Sport for All mandate and the Sport for All perspective and approach is really embedded in the thinking and delivery of everyone. This program ensures that we also become inclusive and ensure that women are also represented and are empowered. I believe we can all appreciate that as a global community, we are still struggling with issues of equity and issues of equality, equal representation in sport. So we take deliberate move to ensure that when we have this kind of partnerships and collaborations, such issues of inclusion, such issues of representation are embedded in our delivery as an association. And I believe even for this cohort, we had women who were part of the cohort and will be part of the graduates today. So we are thankful to Region 5 for ensuring that we are able to achieve that. We also believe that the CLC allows us to ensure that we empower individuals, we empower communities by ensuring that the graduates from the different cohorts are able to go back to their sport organizations, they are able to go back to their communities and live by action the sport for all approach and ensure that there is really inclusion also even at different levels of the society, even including what we can classify as people who are far away from certain privileges and certain developments from the society. So that's why we really take this program in high regard, and we are thankful that through Region 5 we are able to continuously deliver and able to make an impact in the community. We believe that the same way we continue to empower athletes, we continue to coach them to allow them to deliver successfully on the ground, on the track races. We also have to ensure that we have empowered personnel at organization level that are able to allow all these athletes to deliver. Because if we can concentrate on one part, in the end, we are going to end up not having properly and well-equipped personnel that will allow us to develop in the area of sport development and also in the area of sport for development. And we believe that through these initiatives, we are also able to ensure that we have people who take the sport for all approach, even in development, ensuring that when they go and deliver and develop athletes, they are well guided and ensure that everyone is represented and there's no one who is marginalized or left behind. So it's really for me to thank Region 5 for year in and year out ensuring that we are able to collaborate, for ensuring that people from different countries within the USC Region 5 segmentation are able to benefit from the TAFISA programs, because we don't believe that if it wasn't for Region 5, some of the TAFISA programs would have really been embedded within the Region 5 segment. And so far, when we do our assessment, we believe that we've been able to penetrate some of the countries and some of the partners in Africa through the collaboration and the support that we also receive from Region 5, and we commit ourselves as an organization that will continuously work with Region 5 as we continue to increase the partners and ensure that we are able to implement and deliver our programs. So thank you very much for the opportunity to be part of this program and to also take this time to wish the graduates the best and to applaud them for taking time from their busy schedule to ensure that they really become committed to this program. And we are here today because of that commitment, and wish them the best as they go into the community and at the different sport organizations to deliver. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vice President, for those wonderful remarks that you have provided. And indeed, TAFISA continues to be one of our key partners in terms of sport development across the Southern region and in the African Union Sports Council Region 5. We'll now move on to the presentation of the graduates that we have today. Please be mindful that out of a total of 23 participants that we had started with, we had 7 who managed to fulfill all the requirements of the course. And therefore, these are the ones that will be graduating today. And indeed, they say many are called, but few are chosen. The journey was started by many, but only a few have managed to complete, and we congratulate the 7 that have successfully completed the program. In terms of the names that I'll read out of the ones that are graduating today, we have the following: Ntombi Nkambule, Ndorega Chube, Ishmael Watipa, Messi Shawa, Letwin Kudakwashe, Nyalazi Dagwi, and Riaz Imran Ahmed Magason. Guest of honor, ladies and gentlemen, all these names that you have heard represent different countries across the Southern Africa or Region 5. And we are happy to have them successfully complete this program because our comfort lies in the fact that these will go back to their countries, to their communities, and successfully implement Sport for All programs, including their linkage in terms of sport development to African Union Sports Council Region 5. Allow me at this point in time, ladies and gentlemen, to go into the next program item, which is the awarding of the certificates to successful candidates. Ladies and gentlemen, to help us award the certificates, I'll call upon our guest of honor, who is the advisory board chairperson, to help us with the presentation of the awards. In this regard, may I call upon the guest of honor to switch on his camera so that we are able to see you as we award the certificates. I'll call upon each of the graduates to also switch on their cameras so that as we present the certificates to you, or as the guest of honor present the certificates to you, you are able to acknowledge having received the certificates, and also members out there that are following on different platforms can be able to recognize you, appreciate you, and also see you as you receive the certificates. Guest of honor, we call upon you to switch on the camera. We'll now, thank you so much, Chair, for joining us, guest of honor. I will now go straight to calling the names of the successful candidates as you present the certificates on behalf of the region. The first certificate goes to Ntombi Nkambule. That's a certificate which is being presented there. Congratulations, Ntombi.
Thank you.
Please acknowledge that you have received or you have seen your certificate.
Thank you so much. I've certificate.
Congratulations. The next one is Dorega Chube. Please acknowledge receiving that certificate or seeing the certificate. The next one is Ishmael Watipa. The fourth one is Messi Shower.
Thank you.
The fifth one is Letwin Kudakwashe.
Thank you very much.
The sixth one is Riaz Imran Ahmed Magason. And the seventh one is Nyalazi Dagwi. Congratulations to all the successful candidates for having successfully completed the CLC course. We will now, without further ado, turn to or call upon our guest of honor, who is also the advisory board chairperson of the African Union Sports Council Region 5, Mr. Isaac Katopola, to provide his keynote speech. Guest of honor, sir.
Thank you very much, moderator. I hope you are able to see me. And the greetings from Malawi. Just like you heard, I'm now assuming the chair following the redeployment of the former chair, Mr. Umbambe, who has been transferred to the Ministry of Home Affairs in Malawi. I'll start with the salutations. The African Union Sports Council Region 5 CEO, Mr. Stanley Mutoya, and your staff. I hope Mr. Mutoya can now hear us. Tafisa Vice President, Ms. Kinis Katisenge Tizani. Anoka Zone 6 President, Mr. Alfred Foloko. Africa Zone 6 RADO Chairperson, Dr. Nicholas Munyonga. Africa Zone 6 RADO Manager, Mr. Andrew Kamanga. The Norwegian Olympic and Paralympic Committee and Confederation of Sport Senior Advisor, Diane Huffman. All course facilitators, participants of the CLC of the 2021-22 intake, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I wish to express my gratitude for being part of the second online certified leadership course, CLC graduation ceremony for the 2021-2022 intake. Firstly, I wish to commend the African Union Sports Council Region 5 for hosting the course leading up to the graduation ceremony we are marking today. I further congratulate and commend Tafisa for partnering with the region in conducting the CLC, which has proven to be an important capacity development program within the context of the region's strategic plan. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I wish to congratulate all successful candidates who have completed the course. It was pleasing to learn that it wasn't easy from a total of 23, as you said, and the finishing with 7. I think it tells a big story. Your hard work, dedication, and patience has led you to stand out from others who started the journey with you. You embarked on this journey with a large group of candidates. However, you braved all odds to complete the race. In Nelson Mandela's words, it always seems impossible until it's done. It is true what they say that many are called, but a few are chosen. I therefore wish also to commend and indeed congratulate the facilitators of this course for your commitment to the CLC. The time you volunteered and invested towards the successful sustenance of the program continues to make positive impact on the region's effectiveness in the sport development landscape. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, The African Union Sports Council Region 5 is fully devoted to providing cutting-edge capacity development opportunities to the 177 million citizens of this region. It is our strong belief that an educated population is key to sustainable development of the region. The sport industry needs highly competent people who can contribute towards sustainable sports development in all the 10 member countries. It is for this reason that the African Union Sports Council Region 5 has for many years invested resources in capacity development programs that lead to increased number of qualified personnel in sport. The partnership established between TAFISA and the region on the implementation of the Sport for All programs, such as the CLC, will undoubtedly lead to creating of a formidable critical mass of Sport F or all professionals in all the member countries. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the CLC provides participants with useful content and conventional methodologies for effective leadership and implementation of sport for all programs in their respective spheres of influence. Since inception of the online course in 2020, more than 30 candidates have successfully completed the program. This goes to show that the course is progressively becoming a highly sought after capacity development program across the region. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, as I conclude, I wish to congratulate the participants once again for successfully completing the course. We wish you the very best as you set out to implement Sport for All projects in your various countries. We assure you of our unreserved support. As Region 5, we will strive to be the sports service provider of choice by being Africa's leading sports region through innovation and excellence. Your involvement as pragmatic and dedicated sport for all practitioners will indeed lead us towards the realization of the ambitions that we have, yet attainable dreams. I thank you all for your attention. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, guest of honor, for those wonderful remarks. Indeed, you have elaborated on how the region, in partnership with TAFISA, continue to engage in capacity development programs to reach a critical mass of trained personnel across the region that can contribute to sport development and indeed sport for all. And colleagues, you may be asking us why we keep playing the Region 5 Youth Games video on the Malawi Games that will be taking place in December this year. There is a direct link in terms of youth games and sport for all programs that we run in collaboration with TAFISA and other stakeholders. Sport, as you know, it starts from the grassroots, and this is what we would call sport for all, although sport for all concepts obviously spread across all divides and all age groups. And we use the same athletes that participate in different sport for all programs, physical activity programs across the region to participate in the youth games. So there is a direct link between sport for all programs that we are running as a region and the regional youth games, and indeed high performance programs that we continue to coordinate and manage as a region. Without further ado, may I call upon the new graduate, Ishmael Watipa, to speak on behalf of all the graduates and give a vote of thanks. Ishmael, the floor is yours.
Good afternoon once again, and thank you. all protocol has been observed. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been quite a journey to be where we are. I also want to take this time and thank all the graduates for making it this far. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not that long. I'll be as short as possible. So thank you all graduates and congratulations to you all. I would also like to thank TAFISA for their involvement, Region 5 members, lecturers, and all the staff present. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you.
Thank you so much, Ishmael. Wonderful words indeed, and appreciate you for speaking on behalf of the other colleagues. Dear colleagues, esteemed guests, we are now coming to the conclusion of this graduation. And like we requested in the chat box, would like you to switch on your cameras so that we can take a group photo as we finalize the program. Please do switch on your camera so that we can see all those beautiful faces smiling as we conclude this wonderful program. Colleagues, if you're able to, please do switch on your cameras so that we can take a group photo. To me, please do guide us when you are ready to take the group photo.
Thank you. I'm taking the picture now. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tumi. As we conclude, I would like to again pay tribute and appreciate the presence of our guest of honor, the AUSC Region 5 Advisory Board Chairperson, who is also PS of Sport in Malawi. Sir, we appreciate your presence and for taking time to be part of this graduation. May I also take time to also appreciate the presence of the TAFISA Vice President. To you too, Madam, we are grateful for having been part of this graduation. May I also take time to appreciate all the facilitators and appreciate your patience and your commitment to this program. And we will continue to call upon you even as we go into the next cohort that will begin on 1st October 2022. Most importantly, the people that brought us all here, I would like to immensely appreciate all the 7 graduates that have been part of this CLC program and appreciate you, congratulating you for successfully completing the CLC program. To you, we urge you to go on back to your communities, back to your countries, and implement Sport for All programs for the benefit of all those are in need of physical activity and sport programs. We will also be calling on you, even as we conduct different programs across the region, for you to participate from being volunteers to being officials, even as far as attending Region 5 Youth Games. We appreciate your commitment to this program and call on you to continue assisting the region in terms of implementing Sport for All programs. Without further ado, colleagues, guests of honor, I would like us to conclude this program and bring it to an end. Thank you so much and enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The African Union Sports Council Region 5 Games first took place in Maputo in 2004. Since then, the African Games have become the flagship of African multi-sport games and have seen the rise of African youth sports to unprecedented levels. This makes it the most successful regional sports event in Africa. The region is made up of 10 member countries in Southern Africa, and through this channel, thousands of young athletes from both individual and team sports have risen to the top of their game. This has seen them become household names in African sport and at the highest levels of world sports. In the last decade, since the 2012 Games in Lusaka, Zambia, the region has grown from strength to strength, with the games getting bigger and better. In 2014, the games were held in Zimbabwe's second largest city, Bulawayo, and it brought the city to life with the witnessing of high-level sport that thrilled Zimbabwean sports fans. Angola was the next host in 2016, and Luanda provided the stage for the youth of Southern Africa to showcase their skills on the international stage, with the best of the best competing for the honors of under-20 champions of the region. Botswana picked up the mantle as host in 2018, and the games there lived up to expectations, with Namibia's Christine Mboma emerging as a star of the games. 2 years later, she went on to become an Olympian, winning silver in the 200-meter sprint at the Tokyo Olympic Games. Lesotho hosted the Maseru 2020 Games a year later, in 2021, because the unexpected COVID-19 pandemic that spread across the world, bringing normal life to a standstill. The city of Maseru came to life as young athletes savored the lovely views in the Mountain Kingdom as they went out to break new records and sought to launch their sports careers by making an impact at the Games. With the Maseru 2020 Games now a fading memory, Africa looks forward to this year's edition. All eyes are now focused on a new dawn as Malawi gears itself to host the highly anticipated Lilongwe 2022 Games. Games that promise to be bigger, better, and even more dramatic than ever.